Hey everyone, Tristan back with another video, and in this video I thought I'd talk a little bit about the Leica M11 and just some miscellaneous ramblings on it, and also just talk about this camera and also this lens. I recently got this new lens for my Leica M10R black paint, and this is the TT Artisan's 28mm f5.6, and essentially it's a copy of the Leica Summron f5.6. And as you can see here, it's super tiny and super small on the camera. Very light and compact, and I think a lot of people on rangefinders really like small little lenses like this, just for like street photography and for walking around. It weighs like almost nothing, and it just sort of makes the camera really light and compact, almost pocketable. So I just got this lens, and if you want me to review it, go ahead and let me know in the comments field as I shoot with it more. It's a pretty good lens, I think, for like $350 or whatever it costs, $398. It's really nice compared to the Leica Summron version. Leica Summron is like over $2,000, like $2,300 or something like that, almost $2,500. And it has pretty much the same specs in terms of the look and feel of this and the build quality and stuff like that. Now, they're not going to be exactly the same optically. Of course, the Leica obviously is going to be better, but I think for the price of only a few $100s, this TT Artisan's one is pretty nice so far. And I think it looks really cool, on the camera as well, as you can see here. But anyway, let's talk about the M11 that was just announced a couple of days ago as of this video. Now, as I said in my prior video talking about the Leica M11, that was before it was released, but I was correct in that. It is a camera with no base plate. It is a camera that's 60 megapixels, and then it has several other new features as well, such as the ability to get raw files at lower megapixels like 36 and 18 with higher dynamic range and things like that. So all in all, I think the Leica M11 is a really good evolution in terms of a stepping stone of the M camera system. I personally think the M10 form factor is very classy though, because it still has the removable base plate, whereas the M11 no longer has a removable base plate. So in terms of digital M's, the M10 series is going to be the closest to the film cameras because of the thickness. They're the exact same thickness as the old M film cameras like the M3, but they also have the removable base plate. The other thing I don't like about the M11 is the black version is not a brass body anymore, it's an aluminum. And they did that, I think, to make it more light, because it's like 20% lighter than the silver version, which is brass. But personally, I don't really like that. I would much prefer it to be a little bit heavier and be brass. So that's one negative about the black version of the M11 that kind of makes me not want to get it. Now hopefully they're not doing away with brass and just trying to move towards the aluminum. Maybe it's like a test on Leica's part to kind of see how the market pans out and see if people accept that. Personally, I like the brass M bodies because they're just a lot more classy and sturdier. Yes, they are a little bit heavier, but they just have a more sturdy feel. And then also, if you have a black paint version like this one, as it wears out, as the paint wears off, it's going to brass really, really nicely. Whereas the new aluminum M11 black body, as that starts wearing out, as the anodization starts wearing out, it's going to wear out to silver underneath. So I think that might be a little bit of a yucky kind of look. There are some prior aluminum black lenses made by Leica that as they start wearing off, to like shiny silver, which doesn't look as attractive as wearing off to like a nice brass. The other thing is, in terms of specs and stuff like that, I really don't feel that I need 60 megapixels. This camera here, the M10R, is 40 megapixels, and that's already plenty for me. 60 megapixels is really a lot of huge files to have to handle, and will tax your image editing system and your computer and all that stuff as well. There are, however, some niceties with the M11, like you can do up to an hour-long exposure. So if you're shooting outside, like you're shooting the stars or something, you want to do a really, really long exposure where there's hardly any light, that'll work really well for you. Whereas the M10R, I think, can only do like up to 16-minute exposure or something like that. But again, that's not something that I use very often, so it's not a reason that I would get the M11, just for that. One thing also they announced is a new EVF, optical viewfinder, that can go on the hot shoe here, and it's called the Leica VisioFlex 2, and I did pre-order that because it is backwards compatible with the M10 models, and I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, like when you look through it, the screen is going to be bigger and just nicer overall. So when I get that in, it'll be interesting and fun to put that on this camera and play around with it. So basically, I just wanted to do this video, just kind of talk miscellaneously about the new Leica M11. I mean, it is a pretty cool camera, and you know, it's the same cost as the M10R, but you get 60 megapixels as opposed to 40. But it's a camera model that I'm probably going to be skipping just because I'm so happy with my M10RP for right now. Certainly, if in the future they come out with some new enhancements or a brass, version of the M11, I might consider upgrading, or I might consider getting that one. But even if I do get some M11 or some future M camera, I think I'm still going to hold on to this M10R black paint, just because I think it is so classy and classic. Again, having the removable base plate and it being black paint. I think this is a camera that I'm going to want to keep and not really sell, even if I get another M model in the future. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on the new Leica M11. What do you think about it? Is it a camera that you're interested in getting if you're an M shooter, or are you pretty much happy with your older M camera? It always kind of sparks some debate and some discussion in the comments field. So I'd be interested to hear what your thoughts are on it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care.